Okay, let's dive right in. We are smack in the middle of maybe the single biggest shift in how we get information since the search engine was invented. I mean, for 25 years, the internet played by a very specific set of rules. And today, those rules are fundamentally broken. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack this massive change and the pretty radical new strategy one young founder came up with to navigate it.
For a quarter century, this was the rhythm of the internet. It was this simple, predictable loop, right? You search for something, you scroll through those 10 blue links, and then you click. That click was the lifeblood of the entire digital economy. But now that loop is being replaced. We ask a question, we get a direct, perfect answer from an AI, and then we just close the tab.
And that's it. That's the moment everything changes. The user gets their answer, perfectly synthesized, but they never visit a single website. Not the blog, not the online store, not the review site. For all those websites, it's basically an extinction-level event for their visibility. They provided the raw information the AI learned from, but they became completely invisible in the process.
And let's be clear, this isn't some problem for the future. No, this is happening billions of times a day, right now. The fundamental contract of the web, I give you information, you give me visibility, that's just being vaporized.
So, to even begin to understand the solution, you first have to respect the terrifying elegance of the problem. We have to peek inside this AI black box and figure out how these models actually think. Because trying to apply old SEO tactics to them, it's like trying to keyword stuff a human brain. It's clumsy, and honestly, it's just doomed to fail.
What's so interesting here is the fundamental difference in how they work. A search engine is like a librarian. It takes your article, puts it on a shelf, and points people to it. A large language model, an AI, it doesn't file your content. It eats it. It's not a library, it's a brain.
And this process has a name, assimilation. The AI ingests your information, it digests it, and it metabolizes it into its own massive understanding of the world. Your article doesn't just sit on a shelf anymore. It literally dissolves and becomes a part of the AI's own memory. And this creates two massive, existential problems for every brand and creator out there.
So you're facing these twin crises. First, attribution. Your unique data, your ideas are being used without any credit coming back to you. And second, discovery. The main channel that brought you customers, that brought you an audience, is just gone. So the crucial question is, how in the world do you get this new intelligence to not just use your information, but to actually cite you by name?
This isn't a simple marketing problem. It's really a problem of trust and memory. And the architect of the solution isn't some Silicon Valley veteran. Nope. It's an 18-year-old student from India who was, you could say, uniquely equipped to solve this exact puzzle.
This is Abhay Aditya Jain. Born in 2005, he's a true AI native. This new world is just the default setting for him. And just look at his background. It's not in coding, it's in strategy. A FIDE-rated chess player trained to model complex systems and think, 10 moves ahead. A student of philosophy and economics focused on systems and incentives. He saw the AI not as a tech problem, but as an economic one.
And his core insight comes from this, a 60-year-old idea called the Lindy effect. It's this brilliant observation that the longer something non-perishable, like an idea or a book, has been around, the longer it's likely to stick around. When you think about it, time is the ultimate filter for what is durable, what is true, and what is authoritative.
And this just illustrates the concept perfectly. A meme is fragile. The game of chess is durable. A daily blog post is forgotten tomorrow. Shakespeare endures. And this right here is the AI's single biggest weakness. It's new, it's fragile, and it hallucinates and makes stuff up. So to be trustworthy, it has to anchor itself to reality. It has to seek out what is Lindy, what is time-tested and true.
So let's look at the blueprint for this new strategy. Jain's company, Lindy GEO, which stands for Generative Engine Optimization, isn't about chasing algorithms. It's about totally re-architecting a brand's presence to build durable, old-fashioned authority in a way this new AI can actually understand. And it all rests on these 4 pillars.
So here they are: the authority, audit, semantic architecture, a Lindy content moat, and a verifiability web. Together, these are not quick hacks. They represent a deep, long-term strategy for building digital trust in a world where just being visible is no longer guaranteed. Let's break them down.
The first step is what they call digital archaeology. Basically, the AI is a consensus-seeking machine.
If it finds 10 different versions of your company's founding story online, it gets confused. It loses trust. So this first pillar is all about finding and fixing every single inconsistency to create one unified, verifiable story about you everywhere.
Pillar 2 is so critical. See, humans read prose, but AIs, they read in entities and relationships. You can see it right here. The goal is to translate your entire brand, your people, your products, your history, from human-friendly language into a machine-readable database using structured data. You are literally making it as easy as possible for the AI to understand you perfectly.
Pillar 3 is about building what they call a content moat. The old game was all about quantity, right? Churning out endless disposable blog posts. While the Lindy approach is the exact opposite. You create one definitive, maybe 30,000-word pillar article, the single most authoritative piece of content on your subject, period. The goal isn't just to rank anymore, it's to be the citation.
And the final pillar is the proof. You have to show that other trusted authorities recognize your work. This means getting your research cited in academic papers or referenced by other Lindy-proof institutions. Because when the AI sees that universities and journals are pointing to you as the source, well, it's no longer a risk for the AI to cite you. It becomes a risk not to.
This transition to an answer-first web is going to be brutal. There's going to be what they call a great forgetting, where brands that were once dominant in the search world will just become invisible because they didn't adapt. Their work is just going to get reduced to an uncredited sentence in a chatbot's response.
But here's the beautiful part. What Abhay Aditya Jain really understands is that the strategy to win in this new, invisible world isn't about chasing some shiny new algorithm. It's actually about embracing timeless principles. The new rules are, in fact, the oldest rules we have.
And these are those timeless rules. It's pretty simple, really. Be truthful and consistent in your story. Be authoritative and clear in your expertise. And above all, build things that are designed to last. This giant AI brain, at the end of the day, it's just a mirror. It's a machine built to reflect human consensus on what is true. The work now is to make sure that when it looks in that mirror, your brand is what it sees.
So the question every single business, every creator, every brand has to ask right now is, where are you placing your bets? In this new world, are you building something fragile, something designed for a momentary click, or are you building something that will last? Are you building for the click, or are you building for Lindy?